In this video, we'll see what are the abiotic components in the ecosystem. There are basically 6 abiotic components which impact the ecosystem. The 6 abiotic components being light, nutrients, oxygen, moisture, temperature, soil, and these are the six main abiotic components. These are said to be limiting factor. तो what is a limiting factor? Limiting factor is that factor जिसके presence या फिर absence से ecosystem conditions can change. So these 6 are the limiting factors. So these 6 are the limiting factors. So we'll go through them one by one and see what are the details of these various components. Okay, so moving on. सबसे पहले we'll see the light. So first up, there are two very important terms, which is photic and aphotic. So if we have seen some water body, so for example, this is a water body. So this is the base and this is water. So if sunlight falls onto the water body like this, तो यहाँ पे after few after few meters what will happen is कि the sunlight will not be able to penetrate. So that is how the difference between photic and aphotic. So photic means जहाँ पे light can penetrate distance till where the light can actually penetrate, and that is known as photic zone. And similarly जहाँ पे light cannot penetrate, that is aphotic zone. As simple as that. Okay, so what is the difference between photic and aphotic zone? Agar you have seen my previous video where I talked about biotic components, there I explained about photosynthesis and chemosynthesis. So जहाँ पे there is a photic zone, wherever there is a photic zone, that means light is able to penetrate, there photosynthesis is possible. And जहाँ पे light penetrate नहीं हो सकती, wherever the light cannot penetrate, there chemosynthesis is done. Chemosynthesis, which is uh, the synthesis of food or energy by use of chemicals. So that is the difference between photic and aphotic zone, and that is how light is a very important limiting factor. And यहाँ पे जब water bodies में pollution होता है, then the passage of light is restricted. So we'll see how in the next slide. So yeah, here. So we have two diagrams over here. तो यहाँ पे the first one is pristine or unpolluted water, मतलब एकदम ही clean and साफ सुथरा water, which is obviously an ideal scenario which cannot be possible in day-to-day lives. But अगर ideal scenario है या फिर there is very low pollution or say maybe a pristine water, then sunlight, almost all the sunlight which can penetrate, तो यहाँ पे it will be a huge surface area, मतलब a lot of penetration will happen, and that is why a lot of photosynthesis will be taking place. And as you know, photosynthesis में carbon dioxide is taken and O2 CO2 is taken and O2 is given out. So whenever the photosynthesis in water takes place, so O2 is given out in the water, and जहाँ पे O2 is given out, the water becomes oxygenated, and oxygen is the requirement of living beings. So that is why यहाँ पे जो fishes and all होते हैं, उनको they get a decent amount of oxygen, and that is good for them. And in another case where we have polluted water, तो polluted water में see this is all the dirt and all the pollution from say industries. तो अभी whatever the pollution it reaches to the water bodies, तो यहाँ पे it blocks a certain amount of surface area because of its presence. तो यहाँ पे only a few only few surface area is remaining जहाँ पे water जहाँ पे sunlight can penetrate the water and accordingly photosynthesis can take place. But जहाँ पे but see comparing to this thing compared to this diagram यहाँ पे very low photosynthesis will happen, correct? So when very low photosynthesis will take place, low amount of photosynthesis will take place, so that means that less amount of O2 will be given out because O2 is a O2 is a output from the photosynthesis reaction. But अगर photosynthesis कम होगा तो O2 will obviously reduce. So that is why uh, the light is a limiting factor, and that is how its importance as an abiotic component can be measured. Okay, so जब भी light penetration is reduced, so the dissolved oxygen is reduced, and that is creating the dead zones. And the dead zones you can see in the next slide we have. Yeah, so these are the zones, these are the dead zones. As a result of pollution, the light cannot penetrate through, and as a result O2 will go down, and as a result the fishes and the living beings will keep on dying, and ultimately the water body will die. So in the civil services examinations or any examination where these kind of questions are asked, dead zone and things like this become very important. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for further lectures. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.